One of the great gifts for me at this time of year is the practice of getting to reflect on all that has gone on in our community over the past year. And Erev Rosh Hashana is the time that I feel most moved to share about that. It's the beginning of our entering into the holy days, and it's the most intimate we will be in terms of size over the next holidays. Although this is pretty big and a little, wonderfully bigger than who knew how many of you were coming, but here you are. But we will grow in size in the holy days, and so this Erev Rosh Hashana time for me is this time to reflect on what this year has been for us as a community, and to reflect on the stories and the moving through your lives that I am so honored to get to receive. It is such a gift, getting to look out at all of you and to think about your lives and what you're moving through, and with such beauty and strength and courage. So one of these moving conversations this year was with Sandor. Sandor's wife started showing signs of dementia, and many of us have been with Sandor and his wife Susan in our services and witnessed as Susan began to change. And Sandor knew that their lives were changing, and he wanted to lovingly care for her needs as they changed. And each step of the way, he tended to her dignity, and to what she expressed she wanted and wants. And as things began getting harder for her, it did greatly change their lives. She's needing now to be mostly at home, especially in the evenings, and needing help and round-the-clock care. And when I sat with Sandor, he shared with me how he thinks about caring for her in the way that she needs, and also about caring for himself as their lives change. Sandor might be one of the most enthusiastic human beings that I have ever met in my life. And I am with a lot of enthusiastic people, so I'm telling you that his saying embodies this zerizut. He dances every day. Not a little bit, but for multiple hours. He dances. So in this time, he thought about his life and wanting to maintain his enthusiasm and connection to being alive. He did not want to lose that. So he made sure to do that. And in this, as he shared with me, I could feel the rachamim, the rachmanis in Nefesh, the compassion that he has for Susan and also for himself. And his zerizut, his enthusiasm. And every night he makes sure that he's home early enough to do a bedtime ritual together, to talk about their family tree, to sing a lullaby, and to lay with her as she falls to sleep. And then, since it's early, he slips out of bed and has the evening that he needs for himself. Holding both the compassion for her and the compassion for himself. He's talked to his adult daughters about continuing to live his life and to continue to have a social life, and they know what he is needing. He decided this framework for the decisions and choices in this journey into the unknown. He did not know what lay ahead, but he knew what was important to him. A principled framework for how to move into the unknown. That is Malchut. And that is the reason we are here on Rosh Hashanah. The rabbis ask us to come together on Rosh Hashanah each year to enter into Malchut. It's the focus of the day. What is Malchut? It's the sovereignty of the divine. It is what holds us. It is what is bigger than ourselves. It is the principled framework in which we are held in our lives. The qualities of the divine, the values of our tradition. What we say over and over and over in our prayers, they say it, they write it, repetition. Repetition, repetition. They want it to come out of our mouths, so we'll ingest it and live it. We say again and again, chaim and chesed, rachamim, shalom, grace, kindness, compassion, peace, again and again. If those words are familiar and you don't even know specifically what you want, that's because you've prayed in the Jewish prayers and you've said them over and over. They've come out of your mouth. They are the Malchut. They are the larger framework of our lives. And each year we return here. We return to declare this sovereignty, to align with our deepest values, like a Rosh Hashanah chiropractic adjustment. That's why we come here. We come here to line up, to say, are we being held in our lives by our deepest values? Are we living inside of that? I'm not going to escape the fact that Malchut often is how we find it in the prayer book, says Melech, which gives many of us the heebie-jeebies, because that means king. We declare God as king. Or sovereign. I like that word better. Sovereign. We're keen on being our own sovereigns, particularly American quality. Rosh Hashanah says no, actually, to the individualism of this nation. Yes, we are individuals, but we are part of a larger whole. It is not just us alone. And in fact, the rabbis say that we should submit to the old Malchut Shemayim, the yoke of the sovereignty of God. What? Submission? We don't do that either. But what if we open up submission and see it as giving over, surrendering into, where we know that we are not always in control, and we consciously give over to a larger whole. We surrender into a larger whole. So there's two pieces of that. One is knowing what that sovereignty is, and two, figuring out how to surrender into it, how to submit into it. So what is that principled framework for you? What are those values for you that you surrender into? Values being a principle people hold that guides how we live our lives. Do you know? And is this the framework that your life unfolds inside of? Or perhaps it's something else. Maybe the framework for you is anxiety and worry. And that is the principled framework at the moment that your life unfolds into. What is it that your life is unfolding into? What is holding you? Is it anxiety? Is it the drive for the material, for the next shiny thing? Is it the drive for fame and recognition? What is it that holds us? The language of this, the rabbis came out for themselves by defining what it was and also what it was not. And that's how we get malchut, that word that's difficult for us, comes from an oppressed, occupied people that the rabbis were. And they said, the melech, your emperor, is not our God. When people bowed down to the emperor, they said, our God is something else. And now we get difficult feelings about hearing melech. We don't like it. But if we think of the context of what it was, they were saying, I'll tell you what, it's not that. It's not this government. It's a larger whole that holds us. That is the sovereignty. That is the ultimate concern of our lives. So then once we know what it is, once we name it, we want this to be the principled framework of our lives, well then we have to do it. And how do we do that? There's two key pieces, boundaries and community. We love boundaries in the Jewish tradition. We are very into them. And we say yes to things, and we also say no. And we create the structure of our lives also by our no's. And in Judaism, the no's lead us to a yes, to a deeper yes. I will do these things, and I will not do those things. And being able to make that distinction is what helps move us forward. They're called the negative mitzvot, right? I won't check my phone on Shabbat in order to have a Shabbat of peace. It's not just to do it. It's in order to get a yes. The boundary is moving us to the yes. So I will have boundaries in my year to make sure I am living within this framework. I will not make that phone call to you late at night because I want a new way to move forward. I want to align with compassion and kindness for myself and for you. And I have agreed to not call as we move through this ending, so I will not call. I will not tell myself that I am not capable. I will stop that diminishing voice inside of my head. I am not strong enough, I'm not beautiful enough or worthy enough. It's a kind of thought discipline to say I am not doing that. There's the boundary. I intentionally stop that voice to align with compassion and grace and kindness, pain, chesed, rachamim, because we too are included in the beings that deserve compassion. We don't get to say all beings except for me. It is a daily practice to align. And it means that we are alive with the yeses and alive with the nos. And we do this from a place of our own power. We make active and alive choices as human beings in order to consciously do this. It is not something that we say happens to us. It is something that we choose to do. We are responsible in this to make these choices. If you are not in a safe place where you're able to make these choices, that's a good thing to reflect on at this time of year. I want to make these choices, but I can't because I am not safe. And step one is to make sure that you can get safe. But if you are in a safe place, then it's not going to work to say, well, it just happened. No, it's just one thing just led to another. It's not okay in our workplaces, in our neighborhoods. We have to step out of that and say, these are the choices that I am making. When we enter into a time of crisis, it's particularly important. It is particularly important to know the bigger principles because we have to commit to them sometimes hourly, sometimes minute by minute. What is this principle framework holding me? As I decide how to help a parent who is dying, I've decided compassion for them. I've decided rachamim, compassion for them in this process, so that will guide the decisions. And there's a tradition that holds us in this, that gives us a path forward. We are not without a map. We are not without a map. When I had to lie down on that machine every day where the radiation would go this way, and back that way, 5 times a day for 7 weeks, 35 times I had to make a choice that I would submit into something larger than myself. It's not always when things are easy. In fact, it's when it's most challenging that we have to draw on that which we know. And we do this not alone. We do this together. We do this together because that is the only way we can do it. This is not a path of perfection, and it's not a path of solitude. Judaism doesn't really do anything alone, and we also don't do anything perfectly. Nor do we strive to do it perfectly. In fact, the whole point of what we do as Jewish people is to wrestle with these very things together. So I'm not saying that this is easy and simplistic. Yeah, Rabbi Susan, great, I'm going to choose some principles and my life will unfold in that. Sure. I am very aware that what I'm telling you is deeply challenging. And yet we are committed to this. This is what we want. This is what we say we want in our lives. Certainly what we want in our nation and our city. A city to be moved by these deeper principles of goodness. So it's not simplistic. And nothing about Judaism says it is. Sometimes there are two good principles, both right there. If I tell you the truth, it'll be being honest to you. But if I tell you the truth, it will hurt you and feel like a betrayal. So we wrestle with truth. And in fact, the Jewish tradition doesn't say you have to be truthful in every moment. Because we have to also wrestle with rachamim, with compassion, with all of the pleases that come. There is not one right way. We wrestle in community together with these deeper principles of who we are. And that is exactly what we are doing together in Nefesh. This is it. We come together to pray and to sing and to do rituals and festivals and study wisdom texts that are all supposed to be moving towards these principles. And just as important is saying to each other, oh my gosh, I'm trying with this person at work, but they are making it very hard. That's why we come together in community. That's why we are coming together in community, to celebrate, to mourn, and to wrestle together. To wrestle together with the principles of who we most want to be, who our tradition and our ancestors are whispering through the generations with love towards us. Grace, tomorrow, we'll choose a midah or two that we want to sink our teeth in deeply for the next year. There are many. There are many to do this with. And when I asked Sandor, who's been practicing Musar for many years, what were the principles for him, he said, bitachon, trust. That he could trust in this unfolding. Gratitude, that he would feel grateful for each day. And zerizut, an enthusiasm that I thought he'd say, and he said it too. The enthusiasm, the yes for life that would continue to move him in his life. So friends, may you feel the greater whole holding you. May you name the principles that guide your life. And may you wrestle and struggle with them in community to have them unfold continuously throughout this new year. And may the light lead us. Shana Tova.
you take the leaf off your mouth now that you have the facts on your side. Take a moment to reflect where you're from. Let reason guide you. See all tracks lead you out from the dark. See all tracks lead you out to the stars. Take the leaf off your mouth now that you have the facts on your side. Take a moment to reflect who we are. Let reason guide you. See all tracks lead you out from the dark. See all tracks lead you out to the stars. How life feeds life, what makes up you and I, what it takes to thrive, what we need to survive, how we flourish and die, what it means to be alive, what it means to be alive, what it means to be alive, what it means to be alive. Let the light lead you out. Let the light lead you out. Let the